I believe we're in the process of putting together one of the all-time great cabinets that has ever been assembled in our nation's history. We have some great people going to be named over the next couple of days, too. But to accomplish our goals, we must reject the failed approaches of the past. We must move past the tired, conventional thinking of Washington, D.C.
So that was President-elect Donald Trump speaking in Fayetteville, North Carolina earlier tonight as part of his thank you tour. But the liberal mainstream media, they refuse to accept that Donald Trump will be your next president. Now to take a look at one of the so-called news networks, look how they're treating your president-elect.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part.
I want to recognize a lot of our viewers at home. This is frightening to them, and I think we should acknowledge that. This may feel to a lot of our viewers at home like a national emergency. Why? Because Steve Bannon has been described as someone who has been described as a white supremacist, as someone who's an anti-Semite.
Inflammatory words about Islam from Donald Trump's choice to be his White House National Security Advisor.
This hour, hateful groups emboldened by Donald Trump's election. Online opinions moving offline.
We did talk unity at his big rally in Cincinnati. The problem was, you know, he kind of dissed Hillary Clinton. The crowd chanted, "Lock her up." The crowd was mostly white.
Still with us, Donald Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, and joining us now, former Obama economic advisor, Austin Goolsbee. You know, Corey, I've gone over these numbers a lot with Austin over the years. 13 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more in poverty since Obama's president, the lowest labor participation rate since the 70s, the worst home ownership rate in 51 years. Let's go to Donald Trump from earlier today, and let's look at him announcing the deal with SoftBank. $50 billion investment, 50,000 jobs. Watch this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Masa of SoftBank from Japan, and he's just agreed to invest $50 billion in the United States and 50,000 jobs. And he's one of the great men of industry, so I just want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, Austin, I'll ask you, President Obama said, well, what's he going to do with Carrier? Wave his magic wand? How's he going to get all these companies to invest? Well, it appears that his magic wand is called a telephone, and he picks up the phone, and he got the deal done that Obama couldn't get done. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Austin, that we have 1,100 safe Carrier jobs, $50 billion investment?
Well, no, Carrier is a different case. This SoftBank will look at it. This looks pretty good to me. I think
pretty
that's
good?
a good.
$50 billion is pretty good? Yeah, 50.
I
just
think
pretty
that's
good.
a good win. Now, I would highlight that Obama's added more than 15 million jobs since 2010, so he better step up his game as president to try to match that. But I think this was a good win for him.
Yeah, I know. And that's, Corey, that's exactly why Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Ohio were easy wins for Donald Trump, or relatively easy.
That's why the majority of America voted against him. But
but he didn't campaign in New York, New Jersey, and California because we don't have a system based on the popular vote. Corey.
I didn't say we did. I didn't say we did.
No, look, Sean, Donald Trump has been the president-elect of this country for just over 4 weeks. He saved 1,000 jobs in the state of Indiana, which means 1,000, not only those direct 1,000 jobs, but 1,100, but all the extra jobs that go along with that, which means a great Christmas, which you can say again, Merry Christmas, because Donald Trump is now the president. You can say it again. It's okay to say. It's not a pejorative word anymore. The other thing is, $50 billion and 50,000 jobs in the first 4 weeks. We continue down this path, we're going to have to have an increase in immigration to fill up all these jobs, and we're going to have too many in our own country.
Actually, that would be fewer jobs than Barack Obama has been adding for the last 6 years.
Austin, with all due respect, you are the only American that gives him good grades on the economy, but he's gone in, what, less than 60 days? He's done. And the Obama era, thankfully, is over, and we'll survive, and we'll clean up his mess. Do you have a problem with a 10% repatriation rate for trillions of dollars for multinational corporations? Do you have a problem with a 15% corporate tax rate?
Yeah,
because corporations, we know, don't pay taxes. They pass the cost on to consumers, don't they?
Well, you're kind of mixing a few things there. On the corporate rate, as you know, what they're actually talking about is cutting corporate taxes by a lot and paying for it by putting a national sales tax equivalent on the consumers. I have some problems with that. The 10% repatriation
I didn't see the national
rate,
sales tax aspect of it. Did you, Corey?
They're not calling it a national sales tax,
Donald
but
Trump
that's
has never
the
said anything about a national
adjustment they're calling it.
Look,
I never heard
Donald
it.
Trump has never said anything about a national sales tax, and what he said was
No, he's
our
talking about
country
a
deserves to
border
be
adjustment.
competitive.
That's good.
What he said is our country deserves to be competitive with all the other industrialized countries in the world, and we pay a higher marginal tax rate if you're a business than everybody else does. So let's put our economy on par or better than the others. So let's lower the corporate tax rate to 15% so we can be competitive again. What's wrong with America First?
Boy, there's nothing wrong with lowering the corporate tax rate if you pay for it. And we're going to see if he's willing to pay for it.
We're going to get lectured on the Economic Council advisor that gave us more debt than 43 presidents before him combined.
Cut the deficit in half, Sean.
Before him combined.
The deficit in half.
By the way, Corey, isn't this a much better experience than CNN? You got to admit, it's much better.
Well, the good news, look, it's not 8-on-1, which I appreciate. I don't mind the 1-on-1. I'll do that all the time.
No, it's actually 2-on-1. It's me and you against him.
That's right. I'm not used to these odds.
We have a good time over here, Corey. You're going to like it.
All right. I want my steak dinner when you get to New York, Mr. Goolsbee. You owe me a steak dinner with wine.
I owe you.
Yes, you do. Thank you. All right.
All I got left on there is for a baked potato, though. You're not getting steak.
Corey, welcome back. It's good to see you.